My name is Victoria Bayle. I go by Vicky, and I am 49. I'm from Wyoming, Pennsylvania, which is the northeast side of the state, but I've lived here in Edinburgh for well over 20 years at this point. I don't self-motivate. I need someone to push me and tell me what to do, but I like being fit, and I knew that it would only be a good thing for me. You guys had offered, maybe it was like a 3-month trial at the holidays, and I kind of jumped on that. And I had been there years and years ago, so that's why I did it. First of all, my goal is not to lose weight. I'm blessed with being thin, but I was in such poor shape. I walked every day, but I really had no strength at all. So the strength that I have gained since January is nothing short of remarkable, actually. But I also did it because the exercise is really, really good for brain health. I was diagnosed with Alzheimer's almost 4 years ago, and actually was having a rough time with it. I kind of was going downhill. I mean, they say 4 to 8 years, and I'm for 4 at this point, I think. And that's before you really start going downhill and pass. So I knew that I needed to really make some healthy changes. You know, I don't eat poorly, but I needed somebody to tell me what to do, exercise-wise, and to push me. First of all, I can do real push-ups. That has nothing to do with Alzheimer's, but being able to do real push-ups and my chin-ups, I'm on like the thinnest band, and I'm so close to getting there. But over the course of just that 3-month time, it was almost like my brain started waking up again. Physically, I got stronger, but I was sleeping better. My memory and cognitive function really, really improved, and that was even noticed by family and friends, and my doctor actually lives down the street, and even she picked up on the changes. So people who I haven't talked to in a while, normally things, day-to-day things where, you know, I would put something down and forget where it was. I wasn't doing that so much anymore. I love to cook and bake. I was having trouble following recipes. Wasn't having trouble with that either. So, awesome. Yeah. It's an overall improvement. Good sleep means you are in a better mood the next morning. Even the healthier diet, you know, it's not just about exercise when you come in, it's a whole way of life. So you have the exercise, but you have the attitude, you have watching what you're eating, and you have a lot of positivity around you too, which is huge. I mean, it's seriously like a happy place. You cannot be in a bad mood when you're there specifically for classes, Geo. It's one of those things. So it was just like a complete overhaul of me. My endurance is really good. My oldest daughter, had a school project or some kind of study she's doing, and she's like, listen, I need you and Dad to do some stuff. I'm gonna make him walk, but you think you can run 1.5 miles? I'm like, sure. Because of our sprints we do at the gym. I got on the treadmill after, I think it was Monday morning, and I was barely gassed, and I was not going slow either. So yeah, I can run again now, lifting heavy things and putting them back down. I don't know, I feel better than I have probably in 20 years. Knowing that I come in and I'm confident in what I do now, and I've brought some other folks to the gym too, and I can help them like other people helped me when I came in. It's such a positive boost when you realize that you can do just a little bit more, or when you hit that weight that you never thought you could. And I haven't, you know, I'm not trying to get bulky. I'm just really trying to have some strength, and boy am I. Kids have noticed too. If I'm working outside, you know, I don't see them as often as I used to, but if I'm picking something up like carrying luggage when my husband and I traveled this summer, I'm just a lot more spry than I used to be. And one of my girls commented that they can actually see my muscles in my arms when I was doing something this summer. I was like, okay. Not quite jacked, but toned. And they were like, look at you. I think I mentioned that it's such a friendly place to be. You know, the people that used to always welcome me when I came in, when I first started, you know, I still talk to them every day. And now when new people start, I try to really pass on that same thing, like, oh, hey, welcome, you know, you're gonna love it, how you doing? Or if they're struggling with an exercise or something we're doing, I will help them out there. But it's not because I feel like I'm obligated. It's what everyone there does. Truly, everyone just helps one another out, and it's incredible. And even on certain days, depending on the workout that we're doing, you know, when you have that person that's getting to their max weight and everybody literally stops what they're doing and, you know, starts cheering them on and encouraging them. Or if you see somebody struggling, even though you've just finished whatever you're doing, you're coming over there and you're doing the rest of their set with them too. Like, it happens all the time. It's a whole lot. I mean, for me to walk into a gym and start learning all these new movements and exercises and programs and crazy workouts and start lifting heavy weights and stuff like that, I mean, I don't know how to do it on my own. I mean, anybody can pick something up and put it back down, but doing things the right way and working specific muscles and areas of your body kind of needs some guidance along the way. And with my Alzheimer's, I have good and bad days too. And there are some mornings that I come in and, man, it is all that I can do to look at that board of the list of things that's up there, and I go to do it and I've already forgotten. There's people that have been in class with me, they're like, I got you. And they will come over and help me out. And if I'm having a great day, and I do often too, if I see somebody on that struggle bus, I really try to do the same for them. I've always tried to be that way anyway. Like, that's, you know, even with the kids, you know, treat others the way you want to be treated, golden rule. But something that I've really gotten from the gym and have tried to pass on is really getting involved at the gym. And I've had a couple folks actually sign up for it because they've seen me and they've seen my improvements and they hear me talk about it endlessly, honestly. I've had people come in that have wanted to do it too. Actually, one of my neighbors right down the street just started. So one that's been there since, she's been there at least 3 months now. She continued, and holy crap, is she getting strong. Like, she's doing so well. And now she's encouraging other people to come. I have to touch on the coaches first and foremost. They know everybody's name when they come in. And I know it's part of being a good leader and being a good coach, but they're always watching. And even if you're not having an issue, sometimes you don't even know that you need that extra encouragement, but they do. Every single one has the same amount of positivity and encouragement, whether it's a big step that you made or a big goal that you've met, or just something small, like you got one more. This morning sucked and you're here. You know what? Let's celebrate that. I mean, it's just, there is no way that anyone could come to class and be in a bad mood by the end of the day because of the atmosphere that just surrounds everyone there. I feel like I'm talking to like a walking fitness encyclopedia when I talk to him. You look at Quinn physically and you're like, oh my God, look at this guy. He's like so jacked. But then he's like, hey, how you doing? Like, just the sweetest man. And the encouragement and the knowledge and little corrections here and there have made such a difference in my strength and making sure that I do things right and keeping me from hurting myself too. That's another huge thing about all of the classes, the training, one-on-one, all of it. The coaches really make sure you're doing things right so that you don't get hurt. And I don't know that I've actually seen anyone get hurt while we're there. And I've been there for what, since January. I know it can happen, but they really focus on making sure your movements and your weights and all this stuff are the way they're supposed to be. And I think that is huge. I don't want to lose the strength that I've gained, but the healthy eating habits have even kind of passed on to my husband a little bit. Like, you know, he's him, whatever. But I just, you know, I'm trying to get him into my world, and he's taken baby steps. But even when we shopped the other day, he's like, well, let's do a little bit of this. And I was like, oh, all right. Movement is medicine, you know, staying busy, not being a couch potato, the prioritizing the sleep, and really the healthy eating. I mean, you also have to give yourself a little bit of grace, but doing all the things that are encouraged every day. First, you're getting used to the program. Then you start to like how you're feeling with the program. Then you start to do things naturally. Then you do it because, well, you're used to doing it. You feel good all the time. Like, why are you going to stop? Like, it's almost like a natural progression, I think. The outlook on health and wellness, yes. And again, this comes back to the Alzheimer's. I have felt so much physically and cognitively better since I started. I still have rough days, if I'm not feeling well or if I don't sleep well. Sleep is so huge with how my brain actually functions. Or if I get stressed out about something, that's actually been something really hard for me. If I get really stressed or upset about something little that really doesn't make a difference, it really makes me take like about 5 steps backward. And I'm actually kind of there today, which you can't tell, but I can. But every morning when I'm at the gym, I kind of like exhale all that stuff out. And usually when I get home, I feel so much better. I mean, I feel like I've worked all the stress out of myself, and I recover faster than I used to because I feel better than I used to. My kids are super excited that I'm finally doing stuff. And I mentioned how my oldest daughter she wanted to write a program for my husband and I, and she was looking at all of my exercises and stuff. She's like, can you send me some pictures of your workouts? I just want to see what you're doing because I have to write one for Dad, but I know you're doing all this stuff. So I did, and she's like, Mom, man, they know what they're doing there. I was like, yes, they do. So, because this is what she's studying to do. So with the different workouts that we have all the time, I mean, she was super impressed, and she's like, this is literally perfect. I don't need to do anything. So that was just one child, but the kids have noticed that I look better, that I feel better, that I sound better. They can tell when I'm having a rough day because I kind of stumble on the phone a little bit and stuff, but even seeing me over summer and that kind of stuff, one, they can physically tell that I'm in better shape, and two, with stuff that I'm doing, they could tell that I'm a whole lot stronger. They definitely see the positivity, see the energy levels. I feel good, so I'm in a great mood. They've definitely picked up on that. But I think with me going every day, he has really been every single day down in that basement doing his thing as long as he can. Like, he is finally committed. Now, I keep telling him, like, DJ says he has that money that you paid him all those years ago, and he's like, oh, whatever, I'll get there. Eventually he'll get there. But he has seen the changes too, and he knows how much it actually helps me cognitively, but even physically, how much better I feel too. When we went away this past summer to Europe, and we were hauling suitcases and bags, and we were in 100-degree heat, and we were literally climbing up Mount Vesuvius, I was like, let's go, Slowpoke! Definitely had the energy levels that I needed to not stop for 16 days in 100-some-degree heat, carrying bags and all that kind of stuff. So don't knock it till you try it. And again, if you don't try, if you don't get in there to experience it, you're never going to know. It only takes coming through the door once, and to go a step further from that, obviously the first week is hard. We had somebody just start classes with us who's kind of like, what are these crazy exercises we're doing and what's going on? And I've actually talked to her a couple times. I said, listen, I was you in January, but I've now been here since January. I said, and this is probably the best thing I've ever done for myself. My kids are grown, and it's finally time to pay a little bit better attention to me, but it does get easier. And you will feel so good if you stick with it that you will wonder why you didn't do it sooner. And the friend that I brought with me, again, whenever that was when we came in, she is totally committed, and she is kicking my butt even on push-ups. I mean, I took that, almost 3 weeks off, and I come back and I was like, girl, you go. So she is full in too. I mean, it's a learning curve. It's a learning process. But if you really are committed to a healthier you, like the whole picture, there's nothing that can beat it. Well, obviously, I love it. I feel great, I look good, and really overall though, I'm doing it more to extend my life because of my Alzheimer's. That is the #1 priority for me because I would really like to see my kids get married someday. And the disease is relentless, but you know, I am a little too, so